edition of WorldView, a summary of news from around the world. My name is Sophie.
And my name is Jacob. Our top 3 stories are from Russia, the country that is currently the focus of our world history classes. The Russian government plans on sending 2 planes to Syria to aid the evacuation of Russians that are seeking to leave that war-torn country in the Middle East. However, with the carrying capacity between the 2 planes only being about 100, this evacuation will only make a small dent in the estimated 30,000 to 60,000 Russians leaving Syria. To help this problem, a large fleet of Russian warships will be sent to the coast of Syria at the end of January.
Last month, Russia created a list of United States officials who will be denied visas to enter Russia. 11 of the people banned ran the Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba that was used by America and its allies to hold terrorism suspects. This month, the list of Americans has been extended to 60 people. This list includes any U.S. citizen who was involved in the sentencing of 2 Russian citizens to long-term imprisonment. The list also includes Americans accused of mistreating Russian adoptees and were not punished in the United States.
Most people do not think of famous art, music, and dance when it comes to Russia. But Russia has a rich culture that dates back hundreds of years. This week, the artistic director of Russia's world-famous Bolshoi Ballet was attacked by a masked man who threw sulfuric acid onto his face. He has undergone the first of countless surgeries. Officials still do not know the assailant's motive. In the weeks leading up to the attack, the director has been receiving threats which are believed to be in response to his work. A dancer stated that they are in a business that is strange with his field of hooliganism.
Iran, the Islamic-controlled country in the Middle East, is facing many problems because of a trade embargo by the United States and many other countries. The embargo was put in place because of Iran's efforts to build nuclear weapons. The Iranian government is now dealing with an increase in crimes. Recent rapes, murders, and robberies have led to the need for strong actions by the government. Last week, 2 men involved in a robbery and stabbing of a man at a convenience store were publicly hung in a Tehran park. Officials hope that the public display of punishment will be a warning to other criminals. Over 30 people showed up to watch and mourn the loss of the 2 young men. Tribal justice in Iran is much different from that in America.
The first new oil source in Iraq in over 30 years has been unearthed. An Iraqi state-owned oil exploration company located this new oil source. Since 90% of Iraq's national budget is funded by oil, this discovery will be great for the Iraqi economy. It is estimated that roughly 1 billion barrels of crude oil were found.
Recent bomb attacks in economically depressed Greece are making many people afraid of the revival of radical groups. After policemen tried to enter a building where Greek militants planning to overthrow the government were hiding, turmoil broke out in the streets of Greece. Many governmental sites, banking establishments, and businesses were attacked by radical militants. Also, a few small bombs were set off outside a Greek journalist's home because of something the journalist had written. Earlier, a bomb had been set off in the country's largest shopping mall.
The issue of U.S. adoption ban has been a major topic of concern in Russia for the past several weeks. A children's rights leader stated that the recent protests would not change the law at all. He has been against U.S. adoption since a 7-year-old Russian boy was sent back to Russia alone on a plane with only a note saying that the boy was too violent.
This past Sunday, Bulgaria's Movement for Rights and Freedoms leader, Akhmed Dogan, was almost assassinated on stage of a televised event. A 25-year-old gunman ran onto the stage and tried to shoot the leader. The assassination would have been successful if the gun had not jammed. Dogan managed to slap the gun away and save his life.
As reported last week, China continues to struggle with the worst spell of air pollution on record. The thick smog and pollution covers from Beijing to Uyang, which is 1,000 miles from Beijing. It has caused cancellation of sporting events, closed highways, and sent hundreds of people to the hospital due to respiratory ailments. The government has issued an alert urging people to wear protective masks if they must do outdoor activities. 54 factories reduced emissions and 28 construction sites suspended work due to the emergency measures announced on Sunday.
The Chinese people are upset about the lack of transparency on important matters such as air quality, cleanliness of tap water, and toxins from factories. Lately, microblogs have been set up to help promote safety, and the wealthy and famous have been voicing concerns for the average citizen. The Chinese people want reforms that they feel are necessary, not doing away with the Communist Party completely.
Now to Summit service news. A book discussion group for 8th and 9th grade is in planning stages. The book will be The Chocolate Wars. More information is forthcoming. The SummitSchool Enrichment Center Talent Show will be held on March 13th. Tryouts are in progress, and the word is that this will be an event you will not want to miss. Cupcakes for Cancer is planned for the first week in February. Each student is invited to enter a decorated cupcake. After the judging, the cupcakes will be sold at lunch in the dining hall. Emma has this week's editorial.
Choices. Should they be yours to decide or your parents'? When kids are little, the parents usually make decisions for themselves because the kids haven't developed enough to know how to make choices. As they grow, there are different strategies of decision-making that they go through. For example, one day, a kid will be capable of deciding what clothes to wear or what extracurricular activities to do. As the child develops, the weight of their choices affect the child and family more and more. But when kids get old enough to decide for themselves, who makes the choices then? Sometimes it is the parents. Other times it's the child. As a young person gets to a certain age, I think it should always be him or her who ends up having the final say. It is a good idea to get the parents' view, but they shouldn't decide for the young person. This way, the kids can learn from their decisions and only blame themselves for their poor decisions. By making their own choices, kids can strive for their dreams instead of their parents living their dreams throughout the child. Some parents force their child into doing something that they always wanted to do. This could be playing a special instrument or a sport, picking the college they like best, or pushing the child to be academically stellar. No matter what, parents should want you to be happy and support your choice in the end.
That's WorldView for this week. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye and join us again next week.